3000.
What is doing? I hate doing it, but I want everyone to like, subscribe, follow us on our Instagram, hit the subscribe button right there. One click, it's totally free. It helps the channel grow. Share the content, comment, do all that good stuff. Help us keep bringing you 3000 podcast. Now to the guest. Cheers. What is doing? My name is Maloney. This is the 3000 podcast. I'm joined today by a skateboarder, Ricky Glaser. How you going, man?
Good, man. Ricky Glaser.
You
know, I tend to never want to correct people, but I feel like right now for the intro, we can.
Okay. So for the record, it is Glaser.
Glaser. Yeah.
But does that confuse the Americans?
Absolutely. And there's actually this comedian that's really famous, and her name is Ricky Glaser, but spelled the same. And then mine's Glaser, so the Americans all just say, oh, Glaser.
Yeah, because it's almost like glass.
Yeah, I think it's meant to be glass maker. It's like German. Ricky the glass maker. So it's like Glaser.
Okay.
Yeah.
But let's just go with Ricky.
Totally. But yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate you taking the time. This is cool to be here. Really beautiful set.
Thanks, man.
In my home city.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that. Obviously, you grew up here in Melbourne, but people might be able to tell from your accent you haven't been on Australian shores for a while.
Dude, it breaks my heart. Even to just hear, like, you know, we just met right now, and then you just hear that I have an Americanized accent or whatever. Man, what do I do? Like, grew up in Melbourne in the northern suburbs my whole life, basically. Then, like, 5 years ago, moved to the States. And then since I've been in the States, I come back. This is my third time back. So, like, I could try to come back a little more. But yeah, my accent really faded. I don't know, like, what do I do to stop? Do I got to watch, like, Neighbours or something?
No, I think when you're there, and I've only been to the US a couple of times, but when you're there, everybody dulls down their accent just so people understand them more.
Yeah.
Like, say you go through the drive-through at Burger King or whatever. If you say, I want a Whopper, they're like, sorry, sir?
Yeah.
You know? So you kind of
It's the R's. They go, what is your name, sir? And I go, Glaser, Glaser. And they go, R. And I go, oh, R. They don't like the R.
The other thing is, because of the content that you put out, if you were too Aussie with your accent, it probably wouldn't translate to the wider American audience, which people are used to that sound.
Yeah, it's funny because, like, you grow up and there's some Australian words, some American words, and you're like, now I always forget which is which. And even coming back here, I hear some words like, they're like, oh, don't be a sook. Oh, don't be a sook. I'm like, damn, I forgot about sook. Like, I haven't heard anyone say sook in so long.
No, even English friends of mine are like, what's a sook? And I'm like, it's like a sook. And they're like, I think it's a very Australian thing.
Yeah, another one that I heard the other day, they're like, the jacks. And they're like, what's the jacks? I'm like, man, I didn't even think that was Australian either.
Yeah, jacks sort of is. I think Americans say jakes for cops, maybe.
Jakes?
Jakes.
I don't know. The pigs.
The pigs, yeah. A lot of different words. But anyway, man, let's talk about your story. So you're here at the moment, but let's talk about when you started to skate, because obviously that's your profession. That's what you do. So tell us about how you got introduced to skateboarding here in Melbourne.
Yeah, totally. So I've been skating since in 99 when I was like 8 or so. Kind of just the natural. Oh, it's actually kind of a funny story. So my family, my grandma lives in Philippines. That's actually the catalyst of this trip. Is she's about to turn 100 on May 3rd. She's going to turn 100 years old.
Congratulations, Nana Glaser.
Yeah, shout out to Grandma.
Glaser.
Yeah, Mutskevich is her name, but shout out to my grandma. But yeah, I would go to Philippines a lot as a kid. Kind of had some surfing. My parents would have like surfing friends and stuff. Then the surfing friends bought Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 on PlayStation 1 in 99. And we were at their house, me, my brother, and my mom. And they were playing it, and I was like, seeing the intro videos of the people skating. I was like, oh, whoa, like that's crazy. And then ever since then, just got into skating. I was like, oh, I got to try to do tricks. 'Cause I think we had a board and would like butt board around as kids.
Yeah.
But then seeing them do tricks and stuff, I was like, wow, that's so cool. And basically ever since then, hooked.
Yeah, and there was a little concrete park out the back of Cows there, wasn't there?
Yeah, I used to go to that park. It was like built by the locals kind of vibe.
Yeah, there's like quarters this tall.
It was like really funky, but it was like super lovable. They actually renovated it maybe like 7 years ago or something. And it was funny. I thought the renovation was cool that they renovated it in the same like flow style of the original one. And I was like, you never really see that. They normally just demo it, build whatever. But I was like, wow, they really like put some thought into it.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. It's like you see that with like Paran. They just go, no, we'll start again.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go to Paran later today. And I was curious because I saw one rail is the same, right? I don't know if they moved it, but one of the like the down bump to rail
Yeah.
was still the original rail.
Yeah, and the half pipe is moved, but
Yeah, the vert.
vert, yeah.
Yeah.
So and I think from the second incarnation, I think that metal mini is still there in some capacity.
Yeah, I think I seen that too. So I'm interested to check it out. Some of my friends were like, "Oh, it's not that good." Whatever. I was like, "No, it's sick. It's got the Melbourne ground, like the city ground,
You can hear that
in the park." Yeah, I always thought that was fun to skate on. So I was like, "That's cool to put it in the park." I thought it was cool.
Yeah. So 99, Tony Hawk Pro Skater comes out. You see that this is a thing. You start playing that, and then you start emulating it. Are other people skating with you, or you're just trying to copy what you're seeing on the DVDs or the videos?
Yeah, it was mainly just me and my brother would skate together.
Is he older, or younger?
He's older, but he's passed away now. But
Sorry, man.
yeah, thank you. But yeah, we would grow up skating together, and then it was kind of more fun back then to grow up because now you just go on YouTube and write tutorial, and maybe you find my video telling you how to ollie. But you know, back then there was nothing like that really. I had Tony Hawk's I had Tony Hawk's Trick Tips on DVD, but even that was way later. But when I was first starting skating, it was literally just like, we just don't even know anything. We're just figuring it all out. And I remember I would push manga for a long time, and it wasn't until like other skaters would tell me like, you can't do that. I was like, oh.
The good thing about pushing Mongo is it's easy to do no complies though.
Yeah, even then, no complies weren't popular like they were now
they were too
either.
old school. They hadn't come
Yeah,
back.
I remember seeing someone do a no comply for the first time after I've been skating for like 5 years and be like, "Whoa, what's that? Crazy!" You know, it's funny I feel like it's hard for people to conceive like the lack of information, and that's in the 90s. You grew up in the 80s, probably the next level version of that.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing. I remember personally doing my first ollie where I used to live. You know, in this, I'd try so much, man. Try because there's no YouTube tutorials.
Yeah.
You would just jump on the board, kick the tail, try and do it. Do you remember when you first landed an ollie and did that kick off your progression?
I don't know about ollie because I was really young, but I really have vivid memory of doing my first kickflip. And then I was like, I would hold on to this pole in the like driveway of my house. It's like a carport kind of thing, and there's like a pole. And I would kind of hold on, and then I was like, once I was flipping it, I was like, if I just hold on, then I can stay in the air longer and land it. And I was landing and holding on with one hand, and I was like, all right, I just got to pretend now that I'm holding onto the invisible pole and do it. And then I landed one, and I was like so pumped on that. When I try to teach people to kickflip, I sort of try to get them to emulate that.
Yeah.
It's funny that, you know, that was like, whatever, like 25 years ago.
Yeah, well, that's it, man. I used to lean back on like a rail that was ollie you.
Yeah, with the right angle. Yeah, I get people to do that too, and sometimes they like it, sometimes they don't.
It's like anything, or even trying to like ollie when you've got the back wheels in a crack. You know what I mean? Like it's good to sort of learn like that, or on grass or on carpet. But after a while, you got to go out to the
yeah. So what year did you start skating?
Man, I started skating in I'd say grade 1, so that would have been like 88, 89.
Yeah, that's sick.
And that was when Paran was just the bowl. There was a little triangular handrail.
Yeah.
And there was the snake run. And,
Yeah.
And that was it. And then I had a friend, Eugene Doig. He had 2 older brothers. They were twins.
Yeah.
And they always had Vans, and they always had like the Stussy 8-ball hat and all this cool shit. And they were like in grade 5 and we were in like grade 1, and they had all the cool shit. And I remember looking up to them like, wow.
Yeah.
And that's where it started, man.
That's sick. I saw you had Jaffa on the
Jaff's
show.
been on a couple of times, man.
Yeah, that's sick. I actually have a fun Jaffa story from when I was a kid.
Let's hear it.
I should try to reconnect with him because I've never seen him again since this story.
Man, I'm trying to get Jaff to come down to Dills and do something with the quarters and stuff there.
That would be so sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So what happened is I was a little kid. I'm navigating my path, and I'd already been skating for like a few years. Then I would have been like 11 or 12. Then at Riverslide, they had like a skate clinic coaching thing. And then Jaff was one of the instructors. And then I can't remember what exactly happened, but maybe there was like 2 instructors and there was 2 groups. And one group was more beginners, and then I was like a bit more established doing kickflips and stuff. And then I think for some reason I was just one-on-one with Jaff as like the lesson. And then we were just skating, and I'm just a little skate kid, and he was kind of like stoked or whatever. And then I remember he gave me his board, his Dark Star board, and his wheels. And he's like, I got to keep the trucks, but you can have the board and the wheels. And that it was just a nice experience. We took a photo. I have a photo of it. I could probably send it to you.
Man, that'd be awesome. Jeff would love to hear that, man.
Yeah. I think I messaged him a bit on Instagram, but I've never seen him against them. But then there's more.
Yeah.
Then like maybe like a year later, he was doing like a demo clinic thing again at the show, like the Melbourne show. And I seen him again, and I'm like, I was the kid that you gave the board to. Like, do you remember? That didn't sound good.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Then he's like, oh yeah, I remember. And we skated a bit again, or I watched the demo or something, and he said, come back tomorrow. And then I came back and he gave me a brand new board this time, the brand Ralia. I don't know if he was like sponsored by them or whatever happened to Ralia. I'm pretty sure that was how it was written. And then I had that and I was hyped and skated that. Wow. So he gave me his board and wheels and then a new board. So what a legend.
What a legend, man. And there's another friend of ours down here, and he's got a story when Jeff gave me one of his bucket hats. So from all reports, he was just a genuine guy giving away all his merch, all his products.
Yeah, it's so cool. And what I say too is like, I don't know, in my like role as creator, skater, ambassador or whatever, I try to just promote like positive stuff and do positive things. So like I give away a lot of boards too. And I'm like, man, shout out to Jaffa showing me, the young kid, like some kindness. And then now like I try to like pass along the kindness or whatever.
And that's what it's all about. You see skaters do that a lot that have a lot of product. They're like, hey, there's a whole bunch of shoes and some decks here at this skate park.
Yeah.
Whoever needs it, which is like, it's so cool that like, you know, it's cycling around, you know?
Totally. Yeah. I think it's like sort of important to just show like, because sometimes skaters, maybe they have a bit of ego, whatever. They're like, they go to the skate park and there'll be kids around and maybe they don't even be super nice to them. It's like, yo, you're meant to be the big homie sponsored skater. Like you got to always be nice to the kids, like stoke them out, you know?
Yeah.
So I try to always be like that.
Yeah, for sure. And kids are happy just with some stickers, but if they get a board, that's something they'll remember forever.
Totally, yeah. It's like, and you know, as an adult, like board is amazing, but it's like it's not the insane cost or anything. So like, you give away a board to someone like that happened, whatever, over 20 years ago, stays with me forever.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like it's really cool, I think.
Yeah, for one little investment from a board that you're probably going to end up snapping anyway, or it's going to end up thrown out when you move house because it's all chipped up, you may as well give it to some kid and they're going to be stoked.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah. Man, that little yellow tram barrier there, Jeff's signed that there, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dude, this is a sick fingerboard obstacle.
Yeah, so that's
sick.
Ryan from Took DIY, so he's made that there. He's actually made at the DIY park down in Tookarook. You probably won't get a chance to check it out, but he's made a skatable tram barrier as well.
Yeah,
like to slappy.
sick.
Yeah. Next time you're down, you should check that out.
Yeah, I think Dylan Warren was telling me about that actually.
Yeah. So Jaff's giving you stuff. Is that you're already stoked on skating, but that's sort of helping level up your stoke. You're like, this is cool. And you're seeing someone who's been doing it for quite a while at that stage.
Totally.
Yeah. And is that when you think, okay, I'm going to just really knuckle down. I'm going to keep practicing my tricks because you're at like 11, 12, you said?
Yeah, I think I was around then. That was probably when I started taking it a little more serious and I started going in comps. Yeah, I probably would have been 11 because when I was 11, I would go in so many under 12 comps and I'd always go in the comps, win some shirt or board or wheels or whatever. There was a lot in like the northern suburbs. They used to have like leagues kind of, and you would do a bunch of stops and then in the finals at like Riverside. And I remember the prizes would be like 1 year sponsored by this company and it would be like 12 boards still for a comp. Sick prize.
Yeah.
But it was funny. I would go to like a lot of the comps all the time. So yeah, that did kind of kick off like, I don't know, taking skating like more seriously or whatever you could say.
And that's like 2010 sort of thing?
If I'm 12 and I'm 91...
Oh, no.
So it's like early 2000s.
Early 2000s. Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of comps happening and skateboarding's having a bit of a popularity resurgence then.
Yeah.
So it's popular.
Yeah, so that was like the Jackass BAM era was what I grew up with kind of.
Yeah. it's that I've spoken to a few people about this, and that's when skaters like Muska and Bam were like almost the biggest celebrities in the world.
Yeah, like
Crazy.
For a long time I had my phone wallpaper was like Muska and Paris Hilton because I just thought it was the funniest photo.
But it was crazy just to think, as someone who'd been caring about skating for so long, that these people that were just in the magazines were like celebrities on like MTV. It was like, how did that happen?
Totally, yeah. I think now we're in an interesting time period because I feel like we're not quite there anymore now. But skating's sort of, it's like skating is kind of going down, but at the same time is like better than ever, you know? It's like this strange dynamic, I feel like.
It is. And like anything, whether it's art, or music or whatever, there's sort of the pre-Instagram and post-Instagram. And I think Instagram videos change skating incredibly.
Yeah, and just the social media as a whole too. I often like talk about these type of topics like making money in skating or like social media in skating. And it's interesting, like people in the comments would always say, because I'll say this is how social media affected skating in these kind of ways, it was the disruptor or whatever kind of thing. But then people will comment like, oh, that's the same with music, that's the same with cycling, that's the same with all these other industries. Like, that is kind of like an interesting thought.
It is. Well, the internet changed everything, and then social media changed everything. Now we're at a scary time where AI is going to change everything.
Yeah.
So it happens like every sort of 10, 20 years.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like for some reason, I mean, maybe I can't fully sympathize with like, someone like my grandma. She sees TV invented, she sees internet invented, she sees everything invented. But then now we're on the cusp of AI. For some reason, instead of being excited, I just feel like terrified.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's crazy to think that sort of stuff. My nan isn't as old as your grandma, but she's 87.
Yeah, sick.
And when you think about that, you're like, they've seen so much stuff change.
Yeah.
No wonder they can't keep up. And we get frustrated, like, Nan won't answer the phone. You're like,
yeah,
she's born before the end of the Second World War. Like, they've seen so much change.
Yeah, totally.
So let's get back on your story. Skating, your mid 2000s, sponsorships happening.
Yeah, so my first sponsor was in Phillip Island by Island Surf, that like surf skate shop or whatever. Because I would go to the comps and they would always have comps there. My grandma lived there, so I'd be kind of local sometimes. Like I would go and
You're
stay.
like repping the whole island almost.
Yeah, yeah. And then I think I won a comp there, and then they sponsored me, and they were so good to me as well. And I was so proud, and I would rep like the shirts and stuff all the time. And yeah, that was kind of my first sponsor. Then a few years later, when I was like 15, I got sponsored by like Folklore Skateboards. Mm-hmm. They had like a few companies. First, I was sponsored by their side company, like Urban Skater, and they would give me boards. And then eventually got on Folklore. Then eventually on the team of Folklore. Then like Pro Folklore board. So that was a cool.
At like 15.
No, just over like whatever 10 years. But 15 was the beginning of that relationship.
Right. Yeah. And so and that's a legit company like that makes boards. That's not just a shop.
Yeah.
So that you must have been stoked on that at 15.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that was such a cool relationship as well to just sort of be involved with for such a long time.
And then eventually when you get a pro model board, that must have been amazing seeing your name on a board.
Yeah, it's like a trip. I would say like, I knew that I was working with them with the graphic and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, it wasn't like it was a surprise or whatever. We were talking for a long time. But the feeling of when you go to the skate, when it's all happened, then you have the board and it says your name, then you go to the skate park and you skate it. You feel so weird. You're like, oh, I don't know. Am I worthy of this? This feels strange. And then people be like, what board is that? Oh, it's actually my pro model. It's like, it's weird.
It's a funny thing where a lot of pros won't skate their own pro model, will they?
Yeah, I could see why they would, because it's like strange. But I just try to embrace it, whatever. Like, I try to take things light and it's just like, yeah, it's cool.
A piece
Hell
of
yeah.
wood with a graphic on it. Doesn't matter. Yeah. People get too caught up sometimes.
Yeah,
don't they?
especially skaters. They love the like nitty gritty.
Yeah, which we'll get into the nitty gritty. But so then you're skating for them, and you're still in contests in your mid teens, that sort of thing.
Nah, so it was kind of like this 12 from 11 to like the getting sponsored at maybe like 16. All just doing little kid stuff, comps and stuff, filming a little bit, but even then cameras was not what it is now. And then when I kind of got 15, 16, I became friends with older guys that are like 18 or 17, 18. And then they had like VX1000. Then it was street skating time. It was like, okay, who cares about the comps? Let's go like film the clips on the VX1000. And then I sort of went more into that era and like didn't really go in comps at all and was just like filming street stuff.
Look, a lot of people stay in the skate parks, but if you are going to be a proper skater, you've got to go out in the streets and film some stuff in the streets. So when you're 16, 17, where are you going to skate around? What spots?
Yeah, so it was funny. I would always catch the train to Riverside, meet my friends, and then just go all around the city. So it's actually a fun way to kind of grow up and like learn about the city. It's just because Melbourne's so nice with the public transport. Like I would just go all around. They were a bit older, so they knew all the spots and stuff, and we would just go all around the city just on the trains. Like, it was really fun times, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. And Melbourne, like you said, you can go to one spot, jump on a tram 3 stops, and you're at a different one. Or catch a tram from there, another direction. You can go. It is very easy to get around.
Like living in America now, like I live in Los Angeles, and it's like there's no way I would let a 15-year-old catch the bus to try to go somewhere. Like, it's so hard. If you don't have a car, like, it's impossible to get anywhere. And it's like so big, and like it's such a poorly structured or whatever, that it's like it's such a blessing that, you know, a city like Melbourne, you just like catch a train, boom, 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 so easy to get anywhere.
Yeah, and even the way that the inner city is gridded and everything, it sort of makes sense. It gets sparsely sprawling, but it's easy to get around.
Totally, yeah.
So then, when you're filming streets parts and that sort of thing, are you putting anything out?
Yeah, so we would put out like DVDs and stuff still. It was still like DVD era. We made like a crew video, made like a couple crew videos kind of thing. Then I sort of would film with a few different crews as well. And then sort of YouTube started taking over. And then, yeah, it's just still kind of skating like that.
So obviously in the grand scheme of things with the American or the global scene, the whole NBD thing is a thing. In Melbourne street skating, is that a thing? Were people just happy to get tricks wherever they could?
It was kind of like Melbourne because not many Americans would come to skate the Melbourne spots. So you're kind of like, I guess you're trying to get like an NBD on the Melbourne spots. So you're just competing with sort of like the Melbourne people. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was definitely a thing. I mean, as you're a little kid, it's hard to do something that, you know, the legit people can't do. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we were still always thinking about that, I guess. Yeah. But, you know, we just go to the handrail and 50-50 it, where the other people are doing like tech tricks, but we're still like hyped.
Yeah. But that's just learning your craft.
And growing up and whatever, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So then, so at this stage, when you get to be about 18, 19, then the internet's more of a thing.
Yeah, so I guess in the timeline, when I was writing for Folklore, there's maybe like a bit of a time lapse where I'm like becoming an adult, finding myself being like, oh yeah, maybe I won't make it as a skater. Like, this is just a fun hobby. I love skating. I've got some sponsors, whatever. Let's go to university and have a real adult life or whatever. Uh-huh. So there was a little bit of a time period like that. And it wasn't until sort of Instagram where it came back around. So like I kind of like got to with the turning pro for Folklore as well. I was on the team for Folklore. Then I kind of went through this time period of just like, all right, I made it to this level, but nothing else is really it doesn't seem like anything else is gonna happen. Then it wasn't until, it's probably like a 10-year gap. Instagram gets 1 minute video. So it had photo, then it had 15-second video, and then it got 1 minute video. When it had 1 minute video, it really kind of solidified that like it's a legitimate place to post videos, kind of, at least.
Because a lot of the pros weren't down with that early.
Yeah, absolutely not. And it probably worked out for me that they weren't down for it, to be honest. Then anyway, so I would be posting on, through this time, I'm just filming videos and shooting photos, try to get in the magazines, just trying to do all the normal skate stuff. But it is hard, you know, it takes so much effort to finally get the photo in the magazine. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's sick, but it's like, you know, I don't know, you're doing it for the love, 100%. But what I liked about Instagram was I could control when I put the video out. I could choose what I film. I could choose how I edit. I have like 100% control. I'm not relying on the magazine company or the brand or whatever.
Or timing from their perspective.
Yeah, and just dealing with all that, I just go, I can be fully independent. So I was just like, I'm just going to film super hard tricks and just post it on Instagram. And then I was kind of doing that and then started to build a following a little bit. And then I had one go like kind of like viral or whatever from in that early Instagram time. It was at Reservoir Skate Park. Yeah. You ever go there?
Yeah.
I love that park. But it's like that rail where it's flat and then has like the kicker part out. I did like crooked grind and then like I kind of did like nollie, then late impossible is how I describe it. So it's like crooked grind, nollie, late impossible. And it's like a cool looking trick. You never really see people do a trick like that, unique obstacle. And it went kind of viral, like all the big Instagrams posting, like Thrasher posting it, like all the things reposted it, and Shane O'Neill even like he hard posted it back then, which is funny to think of now, but I was like so hyped.
So he like screen grabbed it and posted it.
Yeah, he like saved it off my Instagram and posted on his Instagram hard post, and because he liked that rail, I think he skated a comp where they built that rail and then they put it
straight away. It's from Melbourne.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, this
did
is
he tag
sick."
you?
Yeah.
Perfect.
He just said like, "Wow, crazy trick on this rail that I've skated before," or whatever. And that was really cool to me. And then I was like, wow, I am on this right track of just trying these hard tricks posting on Instagram. And that gave me like so much confidence to be like, oh yeah, I just got to keep going with this. And then from that, I really kind of built my following on Instagram. Then that building that sort of like demand for myself led to Folklore be like, oh yeah, we'll turn you pro now, Ricky. Like, wow, you're really doing cool stuff. And then that kind of just kept expanding through to exploring like being more of a creator and being more social media. Then I went to America on skate trip. Then that's when I met up with the Braille guys. And then that's what led to the whole Braille opportunity. And then I moved to America to work for Braille. And then that everything kind of like snowballed. Basically from that one trick, I credit it to.
And so, which is amazing. The moral of the story is there for young people or just creators in general. Put your stuff out.
Yeah.
Because you could have sat on that trick and put it together with a whole catalog of other tricks and made a video part, and your whole story would have been different.
Yeah, and like when I'm filming these hard tricks, people are always like, "Oh, why are you filming at the skate park? Why are you putting your own videos on Instagram? That's whack, blah, blah, blah." But it's like, I don't know, like you said, the moral of the story is like, just have fun, take it light, do whatever you think is right. Don't listen to other people that are trying to tell you not to do stuff.
Exactly. And like skateboarding is a culture that's built on, we don't really adapt to the rules, but for that there's a lot of rules.
Yeah, I always thought it's interesting too, is like back then when I was doing that, people were like, yeah, Instagram's pretty weird, man. Like, I don't know, like what's this Instagram bullshit? But then it went so quick from Instagram's whack to like, oh yeah, every skater must have an Instagram, and Instagram is important, and every brand has an Instagram, and that's the only way you get sponsored is if you have a good Instagram. You know, like it shifted so quick that it was like, huh, what happened to that negative energy now? Now it's just gone. Like, oh, thanks for trying to tell me not to do that. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's true, man. It's like, yeah, social media was so funny. People will, the people that were early adapters really did well out of it. And like you think about it now, all the people that were never on Facebook, I'm not getting Facebook. Now they're the only people that are on Facebook.
Yeah,
like, you know?
True.
Yeah.
Damn, it's like a wave. It's like a moving thing.
Yeah.
The young people get it, then the old people say, "I will never do that." Then they slowly get it, then the young people go up.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So then you put that one clip out, and you think that sort of puts you into the sphere of skateboard globally almost.
Yeah, it kind of showed to myself because being in Australia, it's hard to explain to the Americans. I feel like your audience is probably more Australian, right? Mm-hmm. To the Americans, I try to explain, like, we feel like a little bit like isolated, and then you look to the American skate industry and you think like, that's cool, but I can't affect what's over there. I can only affect Australia. And it's like, you feel sort of like separated. But then when I did that, I was like, oh, maybe I do have something to contribute to the sort of like global stage or whatever.
Yeah. And the thing is, before the internet, before Instagram, you know, you've got someone like Jaff, who was an amazing skater and groundbreaker, but he didn't want to move to the US. So there's only so much you can do here. But now we've got pros that live all over the world that don't have to go to California. They can still be pro as long as they do stuff. And you couldn't do that before the internet.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the idea of pre-internet, just like going to America to try to meet skaters or whatever, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is, man. But people did do it.
Yeah,
you know, like, you know, you got Dolan, you got a few people that did do it that just went and had on a whim and just, you know. Yeah.
Totally, yeah.
It happens. So you go there. Now, so for the people that don't know, Braille is or was a huge online brand, like YouTube tutorial. It started as like a YouTube tutorial sort of space.
Yeah, so Braille was in a fortunate position that it was kind of like sort of like early adopter of YouTube, basically. Mm-hmm. They will kind of like position themselves as like skate YouTube very, very early. And then they were like the biggest YouTube channel for the longest time, 5 million subs, whatever, like killing it, making so many views, all this stuff. When I joined them, they were already kind of on the like this beginning of the downward, like not as popular or whatever, but they were still really getting a lot of views and stuff.
But that's because there was competition by that stage.
Yeah, like, it was like they were first by so far, and then people were starting to catch up, but they still were so far in front for a really long time.
Yeah, and the interesting thing was, like, as someone who always watches the 9 Club and everything like that, I'm not in the skate community, but just hearing them talk, they felt that Braille was its own thing. Like it wasn't part of the greater skateboarding community almost. They just weren't. Do you know what I mean?
So the way I would describe Braille is, you know, 9 Club is for like core skaters that skate their whole life or many years, and then they want to learn more about the history kind of thing. I would say that's the target demographic. Whereas Braille, I would say the target demographic is beginner skaters, and then what I like to call like pre-beginner skaters. So like random guy just sees, oh, glass skateboard, that sounds interesting. Let me watch that. They're not really a skater, but they're still interested, and they're like, oh yeah, I know what skating is. Then the kind of Braille's like pipeline or whatever was like, get people interested in skating through random funny thing like skating glass skateboard. Then you say, oh, you want to learn to skate? Now I'll teach you how to ollie as well. And then you can kind of like build through that, which was interesting because it's effectively creating more skaters in skate world. There's more skaters in skate world. core company is making more money. There's more people to buy the boards, all this stuff. So it's kind of like doing like a service to the skate industry, sort of, almost like a job that the other companies didn't want to do, kind of.
Yeah, well, they were recruiting skaters, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'd imagine a lot of kids that were 13, 14, they wanted their first skateboard to be a Braille skateboard, or Revival was another sort of...
Yeah, Revive is like, people get them confused that they think they're the same, but it was just kind of like a similar thing kind of like adjacent to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I'm guessing a lot of younger skaters would get into it. They would buy that for their first board, but by the time they get their second or third board, they're going to what we'd say the core companies.
Yeah, they kind of like graduate. It's like they come to Braille, they learn how to ollie, learn how to kickflip, learn about skating, then they graduate, watch Thrasher, buy Baker board, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And like, nothing wrong with that. Like, I think that there's people say, oh, Braille was whack. It's like stupid. Why would skaters watch it? It's like, you got to think about the audience. It's not all skate audiences the same. And I think it was doing something cool. And I was stoked to be a part of it for a long time. I think it was cool to connect with new skaters. A lot of the most popular comment that people would always say is they say something to the effect of like, I used to skate when I was younger. Now I haven't skated for 20 years. Now I have a kid and we skate together, watch the videos together. I go,
awesome.
Hell yeah. Like the most positive thing ever. Like that's amazing. You know?
For sure. And I think a lot of people that would have skated back in the day, like my age, that they're in their 40s now, they did skate. They forgot about it. They got a real job and they're coming back and they're like, I wonder if I could still ollie, and they'll come back and they'll go back into the entry level, you know?
Yeah, I would say that like the demographic was very much like young kids and those kind of people. Like the resurging skater.
Yeah, and the resurging skaters, we didn't have access to how do you do something. I found Braille years ago when I was trying to learn how to hold manuals for longer. Right? That's what I'm like, I wonder where is this balance point? Do you know what I mean? And
that's funny.
Yeah. And I found it and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But I don't skate much anymore, but that's how I found it. And I'm guessing a lot of people of my vintage probably were the same.
Yeah. And I guess we should preface we're using a lot of past tense.
Yes.
But I don't know. I guess just you can look up what happened with Braille on your own. But the way that I kind of say it is like, you know, everyone knows Aaron Carr was a Scientologist or whatever. For the record, I am not a Scientologist. But what kind of happened with Braille is like the longest time he keeps his personal Scientology separate. He keeps Braille separate. Great. I'll work for a company owned by whatever personal beliefs, as long as it's separate. But then eventually it kind of didn't become separate and like exploded. And now it's not so good anymore. We're not so happy with that. We had like a bad breakup is what I kind of say.
For sure. And we can, well, before we get to the negative stuff, let's talk about the positive stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's, I just wanted to preface that a little bit, but like before I glaze them too hard, but I think Braille was doing great stuff. Mm-hmm. It's sad to see that it failed, like whatever, I don't know, failed, but like, imploded like this because I think it really had a place and it was really doing great stuff and I was super hyped to be a part of it.
Left a big gap in the market though.
Yeah. I feel like honestly maybe like social media evolving has kind of like absorbed it a little bit. Now like Mitchy Brusco's doing the Skater IQ is probably really what took over.
Yeah, he's really good, isn't he?
I feel like now in the kind of algorithm era we could say is like back in Braille's like commanding power is that on YouTube like the big channel posting every day, everyone sees it. It has a lot of subscribers. They're all seeing it. But now everything's algorithm based. So like if you make a YouTube channel and you make a good video and you have no subscribers, it will still get a lot of views, you know? Yeah. Whereas like the subscribers and stuff became less important because the algorithm became more like effective kind of.
So when you first go to the US, had you teed up to go meet the Braille guys or you were just going on a trip?
Yeah, so I actually went on a trip. Do you know the Happy Medium crew?
No.
Oh, okay. They're just like these skaters. And one of them, he was just saying, come hang out with me, Ricky. Like, I really respected his skating. And then he would just say, come skate with me, come skate with me. And I was like, all right, yeah, I've never really done like a big US trip. Like, I'll do that. And then before I was going to go with them in Arizona, I was like, what other cool skate tourist stuff can I do? I'll go to Barracks. I'll go to Braille. Like, what else should I do? And then that's how it all came about is like, I just very casually just went there to just sort of like check it out just on a trip and then filmed some videos with them and they're like, yo, Ricky, move. Aaron Cairo, when I come back, he just messaged me, move here, Ricky, come work for us, whatever.
Right, so you met him there on the first trip?
Yeah. So I met them and I filmed the video. The video is called like World's Best Rip Sticker. You know what a rip sticker is?
Yeah.
And because I would just, like I said, I would be exploring the like just doing kind of like more virally like silly fun things in skating. So I had some kind of viral videos just skating ripsticks because it's like people are like ripstick dumb. Don't do real tricks on ripstick.
Couldn't
silly.
even imagine skating ripstick properly. Like,
yeah, and I would do like I do kickflip and impossible and grinds and stuff. And then they were making a video about ripstick, and I went and met up with them and skated with them. And they position as like the world's best ripsticker, which like I'm probably not, but I only ripstick a few times, but I just did it with like a skate mentality, whatever. And then the video did really good, and they thought that I was, good fit or whatever. And they're like, yeah, come and work for us. That'd be cool. And then they helped me get the visa and everything. So like, that was really cool.
Because by the time you got there, it's a fully running machine. Like, there's
well-oiled machine.
There's the proper staff, proper full-time filmers, administration.
Because that was like 2019. And I would say Braille's like peak crazy era would have been like 15, 16, 17. And then like the 18, 19, it was already starting to be like, oh yeah.
But they weren't attacking it like we're on the decline. They're just like,
no, yeah. I mean,
steam ahead.
Each video is probably still averaging like 100,000 views or whatever, and posting daily. Like, hell yeah, like that's sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, but you've had some videos then that had millions. We're talking millions of views.
Yeah. So I had a lot of, that was like when I was just starting to kind of like, I don't know, go viral or build a following or like whatever you want to say. But that was all mainly like short form videos. So like, on Instagram or on Facebook or whatever, they will be going viral and stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas like YouTube was kind of like a different beast. It's funny to think how I didn't know anything about YouTube when I first met up with them. I remember they're saying, oh, stand in the bowl, like stand it like you're going to drop in the bowl. We got to take a thumbnail. I'm like, who cares? Like, what's this thumbnail nonsense? Like, who cares? And it's funny to think back that like I really didn't know anything about YouTube when I first met up with them.
Yeah. Well, you got a crash course, obviously.
Yeah.
Like you learned from the best sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, it was good. It was really good to learn what a big channel does and learn like what to do good, what not to do as well. I definitely learned a lot of what not to do too.
From them fucking up or from you?
Yeah.
Right.
Just like from, seeing how the things went, just like, oh, if, I ever had a big operation like this, definitely don't do that. Definitely don't do that.
Too many cooks in the kitchen, too many...
Yeah,
people.
And just like let the thing get too big and then be too disconnected from it and then be, let it crash and burn like that. Lose the love, kind of.
Yeah. It's like that with a lot of small businesses. And obviously that was a big thing, but it's still technically like a small business.
Yeah.
I see that with people, my mates that have their own businesses and they're like, I've got 7 guys and it's good because someone's sick and then I can fill the gap. But once you get to 15, then you've got your wage bills up there and you've got to make more money. And that's the same with anything.
And then when it's like growing and you're like, we're unstoppable. And then you're hiring other people, then it starts going like this. Then you go, oh, fuck.
Then, that's the thing. It's like, I think with any business, it's finding that happy medium and not trying to grow until you're really ready. Because then your overheads go up and everything changes.
Yeah, exactly. And I think in the creator space too, is that like, if you build a business around you, the person you, so like, it was Braille skateboarding, but like effectively it's like about Aaron Carr, and then once you start giving the same time and energy and whatever into it, then it like really changes the dynamic kind of.
Yeah. Like imagine if Joe Rogan goes, all right, well, I'm not going to host the podcast anymore.
Yeah, Jamie's going to host
Jamie's going to do it and a bunch of other dudes that I know and it'll be fine. You're like, well, eventually it's going to tank, isn't it?
Yeah, like for a while you could do that. Hey, he could do one episode, 1 week, one time, and it would probably do good. But it's like if you keep leveraging that, then it's only going to go down, 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 down.
Yeah, for sure. So when you get there and you do your ripstick stuff and they're like, oh man, you got to join the team. Was it like, did you, like, I've only watched a few of the videos, right? Like a fair few.
How to balance manuals video.
Yeah, how to balance manuals, this glass skateboard one, trying to skate a ironing board, just stuff like that. Or people got to the point where they would send them in boards that they've made out of,
just crazy builds
crazy stuff. I've watched a few of those. But obviously there's a lot of like meticulous planning that goes into all this. You don't just go, what are we going to do today? Like everything is structured like a real job.
Yeah, totally. It was like, you're working these hours, we got to film this many videos by this time, like very much real job vibes. And yeah, we would film a lot of videos each day. Usually like it kind of evolved when I was there, but typically we're going to film like 3 days a week or whatever. And then each day we have to film usually like at least 3 videos, but some days we would film like 5 videos or 7 videos.
Are you expected to edit them or you've got editing crew?
Nah. So like my role was just specifically like the skater, and then, someone else films, someone else edits. We would all wear like a few hats, but for the most part, it's like I was just rock up, do stuff, and then that's it. But still, 7 videos in a day when the video is like crazy skating on axe or whatever, it's like fucking hard work.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess it's a bit of a double-edged sword because at the end of the day, you're living in a space where you've always wanted to be from a skateboarding perspective.
Yeah.
You're skateboarding professionally, but it's like a real job.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, I was just along for the ride, I was like, do you want to move to America and work for this big YouTube company? I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, let's see what happens. Like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So I always, like I said, I take it light. I wasn't like ride or die. Braille is the best thing ever. I was not even really a fan of Braille before. Like, I did barely knew about him. I was more in the core mentality of like, YouTube, like, what's this YouTube skating? I didn't really understand it. Oh, I'm an Instagram skater. I don't know much about this YouTube. Even I was a little bit like that, you know?
Yeah.
And then I met up with him, like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, what is this huge operation? This is insane. How does this even exist? And I feel like skaters don't even know about this.
Yeah. It existed in its own hemisphere.
Yeah, it existed more in YouTube world, and then skating was like separate from YouTube world.
When you were trying to go and film these crazy things, were kids just like mobbing you and that sort of thing?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Like occasionally we do like demos and tours and like stuff like that. And that was really sick to like, because you do a video and you see big numbers, 100,000 things. It's hard for your brain to be like, that's actually people. Then you go to like small town and even there's just like 200 people that are like, whoa, can I have your autograph? Oh my God. You're like, whoa, this is like the actual people from the what I'm watching. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. The numbers are there and they're real people behind the screens.
Yeah.
But if you went to go do a crazy video, because by the time you got there, they had the warehouse and the skate park.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to go to a public skate park to skate a glass skateboard or whatever.
Nah, but we would still go out into the public. I know it's always cool to like meet people and stuff. I feel like it added like a better dynamic to the videos too, rather than just hiding away in the skate park kind of.
Yeah. But it would have been cool to have access to your own private skate park.
Yeah, so the skate park was great because we could do bigger and better ideas and just do the crazy shit. Because like obviously doing things at the skate park, it's like there's this line of like, okay, you can't disrupt the skate park that much. Like you can only disrupt it a little bit. But at the public skate park, private skate park, you know, we would build like whatever crazy obstacles and like all this stuff. Like once we built like a pool and a big rail over the pool, we're like grinding over the pool and like shit like that.
Yeah. Because I'd imagine in those brainstorming sessions, there was no bad ideas. You're like, you know, someone comes up with something crazy. They're like, the crazier the better.
Yeah, honestly, sometimes they were too crazy. I would say something as a joke, and then they build it. And I'm like, oh, now I have to do it.
Like what? Give us an example.
I remember one. I was saying like there was a period where they would make rails and stuff out of different materials, and they would make like ice rail, and they would make an ice one. And then I was like, what about an ice rail on fire, and I grind it on a ripstick, and then boom, like they just make it, and I do this.
Did you do it?
Yeah.
Did you land it?
Yeah.
Man, I don't even know. How do you come off a grind on a ripstick? Because as soon as you hit
it's
the deck,
kind of awkward.
Yeah.
They suck to skate, to be honest. Like that, the very first when I joined, they were always saying best ripstick. Oh my God, it's tricky. And then I was like, all right, I didn't really care about this that much. I'm trying to like leave that behind.
Yeah. You don't want to be doing that all the time.
Yeah.
Were they? Because in the wider skateboard community, people don't like rip stickers, or they're not huge, but like the scooter things. But the scooter riders and rollerbladers. But it seemed like those braille guys, was cool with everybody.
So that's another thing that I say is like what we say, skaters can be a bit nitty gritty, a bit judgy. Even I was a bit judgy before I went to, YouTube world or whatever. But yeah, I think that was a big positive of Braille was like, you have a vague interest in skating, we accept you. Like we accept anyone, like there's no wrong answers, like have fun, do whatever, it's all good. And I think that was a nice spiritual message that Braille had. Whereas the other companies, they're like, we're cool, we're doing this, you either do this, what we're doing, or fuck you, kind of. Can I
You're
swear,
with
by
us
the
or
way?
against
Is it
us.
okay
Yeah,
if I say?
of course, yeah.
Sorry.
You're with us or you're against us. You're doing your own thing, yeah.
Yeah, so like I thought that was nice for Braille. It's very like everyone's great, you're doing great, have fun. And what I kind of learned from it too was like your relationship to skating doesn't have to be I'm trying to get as good as I can and get sponsored and turn pro. Whereas for a long time I thought that was everyone's mentality because that was my mentality as a kid. But it's like people can just have casual interest in skating. People can, have a job as a 40-year-old, just say, I want to skate once a week and just, learn to heel flip because I can kickflip, but I can't heel flip. Like, that's amazing. And I feel like the companies would never, not that they don't cater to that, but it's like, I feel like they were almost kind of like negative to that.
Yeah, I think, and when you look at the core people that are buying skateboards, it's the same as that Braille audience. It's kids in their teens or it's guys in their 40s that have got the money that are trying to do it again,
They're like up-and-coming good skaters, never buying boards that are sponsored or whatever, or just try to get everything for free.
So they're
or try
kind
to
of
get
missing
cheap
their
as they
market
can.
a little bit when you're not catering to that older demographic of people that are trying to relive their youth.
Well, that's what was kind of interesting is people would criticize it so much, but it's like, it's kind of just like marketing 101 a little bit like, hey, we understand our audience and we're catering to the audience. Like, what's so bad about that?
For sure. And when you even take it back to the days where Jaff was was teaching clinics.
Yeah.
Essentially, Braille is an online clinic at
Yeah,
a
exactly.
skate park. Do you want to learn how to you're interested in skating? Do you want to learn a bit more? Here's a clinic that's online. Basically, is what it was.
And kind of built community around that, like, they can all interact with other beginner skaters and that kind of thing too.
When you started to be on the roster, was it obviously there was other people that had left, other skaters and stuff that had already left by that stage?
Yeah.
And would they reach out? Was that a red
So
flag?
I think the timing was good for me because there was whatever scandal, and then the two dudes left at that time or got fired or whatever you want to say. And then there was kind of like a space. So then Aaron's like, oh yeah, come work for this. I feel like he wouldn't have done that if nothing was. If they were still working there or whatever.
Right. And do you think, these guys are left, maybe this is... But it's an
I
opportunity.
don't know.
You can't
It was
say
a
no
little
to.
bit weird, but at the same time, whatever. If someone wants me to come and work for the Skate YouTube channel in America, yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. And then when you're doing that, you're still going out, and because obviously you're an amazing skater, you're still going out and skating street spots and that sort of thing, or did you have to work all the time?
Yeah, it was interesting. Like, I was doing that. Like, at first, I was really trying hard to do that, but then it was like, man, the kind of workload of Braille was like kind of absorbing my energy a little bit. So it was like hard for me to balance. But then I would kind of be like, I don't want Braille to only be my identity. I still want to be doing my own stuff. I still want to be street skating and doing other things. So it was a little bit hard to navigate that because I just was skating so hard at Braille. But like when I first moved, my kind of goal was like, I want to show the Braille audience like sort of like what I can do or whatever, So I was always going so hard in the videos just to be like, yeah, like you invited me here, like hell yeah, I'm gonna do good stuff.
I'm gonna prove myself.
Yeah, kind of.
And I guess that digs you into a bit of a hole because the other guys are like, "Oh, Ricky will do that one."
Kind of,
He'll go harder.
There was
than
definitely a period where like Ricky will do anything or whatever.
But I guess as the new guy, you kind of got to prove your wares a little bit.
Yeah, it was fine, and I did a lot of fun stuff. What would be good from Braille is like we would do such crazy viral shit, and then they would kind of get the YouTube, and then I would kind of get all the short forms. So then I would be posting all the stuff on my Instagram too. So it's kind of like benefiting me too.
Do they have to approve what you put on your Instagram, or that you kept that?
Nah, honestly, Aaron was pretty good that he was like, leverage Braille as much as you want, film as much as you want, use the warehouse as much as you want, like basically do whatever. He was kind of very nice in that regard. Like he was not like, this was filmed with the Braille camera, it's Braille's footage, you can't use. He was never really like that. He's like, yeah, I want us all to thrive. Like, hell yeah, cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Because it seems like he started out with the right mentality and then things changed. So when you went out skating, not Braille stuff, which I imagine would be hard. If you're doing 5 days a week in there, your knees, you're going to have a day off every now and then and that sort of thing. But you want to go out and skate. Are the core skating community like embracing you? Are they like, man, what are you doing with that Braille stuff? Like,
yeah, they were always a little bit weird. At that time too, I was sponsored by Crux, and I was like on the proper like Crux team. So then I would occasionally do stuff with them, film with them a little bit, have events or whatever, and do stuff like that. So that was like a nice little change of pace or whatever. But I don't know, it was fun to balance. Like I feel like everyone in skating is balancing like a bunch of different things. Like I would think of Braille as more like a job, and then the street skating is more like passion kind of thing like that.
Yeah, but it's hard when, like, if your normal 9 to 5 is something that you're not strenuously hurting your body, on the weekend you can go skate, or at nights you can skate more, but you were just skating all the time, which is great for getting better, but it's hard on your body, I guess, to go on your downtime to go skate. You just want to chill.
It was definitely hard on my body. And then I would get injured a few times, and then it would really mess everything up because, like, now it's hard to be in the videos when I'm injured, and then I can't skate myself as well. So it's like, it was a bit of a balancing act of like, where do I put my energy? Where do I put my time? And then like, how much risk do I take as well? Because then towards the end of Braille and stuff, they'd be like, hey, do this crazy thing. You're like, I'm not doing that. Like, are you serious? Like, that's so dangerous for no reason. Like, I don't want to do that anymore.
And there's no health cover in the US. I've broken my ankle here. I go get it fixed for nothing.
Yeah.
You hurt yourself there.
So there is, but you have to pay so much. And then like Braille would help me a bit that like through the employer or whatever, I had like a program thing where they would pay half and I would pay half. But even me paying half is still so expensive. Yeah. And then like when you actually have to use it and go and get surgery or something, you still have to pay so much stuff all the time. It's like, it's really brutal in America.
And that's coming from a professional standpoint.
Yeah.
Joe Blow, who works and has kids or whatever that goes and skates, he's really putting his body on the line. There's no free healthcare. You might have a $20,000 accident.
Yeah, like if you just a random dude working a job with family and then you like break your wrist, have to have surgery. Now you can't work your job where you needed your wrist, and now you have to pay all this stuff. It's like, yeah, it can really like set you back a long way.
For sure. And we need to be thankful that we've got that sort of stuff here, man. Like,
Yeah.
over there, I look at people skating, I'm like, dude, that must fucking, it's just
Yeah,
scary.
and like their mentality is so different. When I'm here, I'm like, I rolled my ankle. Let's just go get an X-ray and see if it's broken or whatever.
Yeah.
There, people will literally like snap their arm in half and then be like, I'll just let it heal. It's probably going to be okay. Like, I don't need to go to the doctor. You're like, what the heck? Like, you're insane.
When you did have time off, were you going to check out iconic skate spots as well, just to see them in real life or skate them? You know?
Yeah, totally. And like that was what was fun about Braille is I met a lot of really people that I always wanted to meet, great guests and stuff, and went to all famous spots and stuff. So like that was really cool that I liked from Braille is I could be introduced to all these people that I loved as a kid and go to the famous spots, like go check out El Toro. Like I'm not going to skate it, but I'd love to just
That's
go hang
that's the
out.
one that I thought of. I'm like, it's a tough one, but it's good to check out.
Totally, yeah. And just even now, like where I live, I can just drive to Hollywood High. It's not very far. I'm like, oh yeah, should I hit it? Like, maybe not.
That spot, Hollywood High, is so iconic, right?
Yeah.
And it is still a functioning high school.
I know, right?
And they fence it up and they do whatever they do, but fuck, man. So there's kids that go to school there every day and they just must be like, fuck.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever got kicked out of there. Like you just go after school time or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely like a perfect rail, perfect 12, perfect 16.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't really want to skate a 16 rail. Like we said, I don't want to get broke off just 15 a 16 rail. Like what's the point?
Yeah, because I'm imagining some of those spots like El Toro in real life would just be like, whoa.
Yeah, to me, my friend described it really well. My other Australian friend, he goes, because we went together. He's like, when I was here, he feels like he's behind the scenes of like a movie set. He's like, oh, I'm at the Seinfeld Cafe. Like I'm here. Like I've seen all the video. I know all the like the layout, and like now I'm here in person. Like this is crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's very fun. It kind of like makes the world feel smaller too. Like how I said, you see everything from the Australian perspective and you say, wow, I'll never know what that's like or whatever. Then you go there and you're like, oh, cool. It's just a spot, but it's still kind of like special, you know?
And again, kids go to school there. Which
Yeah.
Is like,
Yeah. I always thought it was like called El Toro because it's like, whoa, the bull. You're like, wow, it's big buck set. But it's literally just called El Toro High School.
But it's a cool name.
Yeah, it is.
You're like fighting the bull.
Yeah, that's what I thought for the longest time.
Yeah. So when you're there and you're doing all that sort of stuff, are you still having fun, like time to have fun and enjoy it? Or it just feels like a fucking job, dude?
Nah, it was fun. And like, I can't just say, oh, woe is me. I always had to skate so hard for the big YouTube channel. It was super fun and it was super fun time. Just because it's hard work doesn't mean it's negative. Like for the longest time, and it was fun to just hang out with the other guys and we would get into all these funny situations, meet all these fun guests, do all this cool stuff. And as well, like, you know, where like the big YouTube channel, all these opportunities would always open up too. Like, oh, you're Braille, come and do this. Like we did a Flug tug, you know what that is? Like the Red Bull event where they like ride off the cliff.
Yeah.
Like Red Bull's like, oh yeah, Braille, we want you to do Flug tug. We'll build you this giant skateboard. Oh, you're in Cincinnati, come hang out with the mayor on the Red Bull boat and stuff. Like it was fun, you know?
Yeah. And I'm guessing in those initial times when you're officially on their crew, they post something on Instagram, they tag you in it. Are you seeing your followers just go bang?
Yeah, for sure. Just by being in the mix and a part of them, it definitely grew like the core follower base of Braille is like now affiliate has affinity to me. Sorry, that's what I was trying to say. Even now, whenever I do anything on my content, they always say, "Oh, I miss you on Braille. You are my favorite on Braille. You're the guy from Braille." Blah, blah. You know, I feel like I'll never surpass that. But it's fine. Like that's part of my identity. Like I think it's cool. What was interesting for me though is, you know, when I moved to do all this stuff, I was like 27. And I've already lived my whole core skate life and kind of like fizzled out of skating a little bit or got my real job sort of how I said. And like then I joined Braille. All of that is forgotten. And they go, you are the Braille guy. I don't care about any of this VX video stuff that you did in Australia. It doesn't exist. You're the Braille guy. That was a little bit hard from my perspective, like for my identity, I guess.
Okay, so then let's tell people if they want to go back and see that core stuff, how do they find it?
Yeah, you can just watch on my YouTube channel or whatever. I sometimes post like the old parts and stuff on my Instagram, whatever. But it's been interesting. Like, it was a fun journey because, you know, they don't know about that because no one was really seeing that other than the sort of Australia scene or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a blessing to have so many more eyes on you, but then at the same time you're like, damn, I'm known for the one thing that is the newest thing, and they forget that I existed before that.
Yeah, but it's not like manifested out of nowhere and turned up skating. Everyone knows that you must.
But that's kind of what they think.
But that's if they do the research, they'll figure out otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, man, dark slides.
Yes.
Okay, so when Rodney Mullen first did that, and a lot of tricks, someone does it, then people run with it.
Yeah.
That's the kind of trick that I feel like 99.9% of skateboarders will never even do.
So this is what I think. I think they won't do it, but I don't think they won't do it because they can't. I think they won't do it because kind of quirky, whatever, and it ruins your board and whatever, like. And it's difficult, but it's not that difficult. Like you can learn them. If you can kind of kickflip board slide a curb, or maybe you do like board slide shove out. So let's say if you could do kickflip board slide shove out, you could definitely do a dark slide. At least like a kind of.
It's like it is one of those tricks
one.
that just was so out there.
It's so like elusive, like a unicorn. Whoa!
Yeah,
I've done dark slides just randomly skating, and people go, "I've never seen one in the wild."
In the wild, yeah. But it's kind of like when you talk about Tony Hawk Pro Skater earlier. Yeah. It's like a dark slide is a special move in that. Most of the other special moves, you're not like doing a handstand and holding a boombox. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So that is almost, it adds to the urban myth of it. You know?
Yeah, I just followed the thread because I thought it was fun, and they're like a cool trick that you don't really see people do. And I thought it's cool to take like the core approach to a dark slide. So it's like, oh yeah, I'll do it down the handrail. I'll do it on like a legit thing. I'll do it on a rail and it looks cool, or I'll do it harder trick in. So I always thought they were kind of fun. But honestly, dark slide's not that hard. You could learn it. My tip to you would be have a secondary setup, or at least a secondary deck that is dedicated for dark slides. So then you're skating normal. You don't really need to wax it, but you just, because the deck is concave, the contact point is just the edges. Yep. So if you just kind of like do a few dark slides, or you could even cut out the grip a little bit on the sides, it will slide beautiful. You'd be surprised how good it slides. Like put it down on a curb, run up and gyre, you'd be like, whoa, it slides just like a board slide.
Yeah. And I guess you got to learn where the foot placement is, because you
foot placement's weird because you're doing kind of like half frontside flip, and then you're spreading your legs way wider than you would want. Because I feel like a true dark slide should be foot on the nose and tail, not like in the middle, which some people do too, which is so cool. But I think it looks cooler when you're like locked out the Rodney Mullen style. But yeah, you just get used to it. Just try. I think I have some tutorials of dark slide or whatever. Even with Braille, I made one. I think there's one on my YouTube channel too. But you can do it. You just gotta try. You know.
And that's like anything in skateboarding. You're never gonna land the trick first time. You just got to put in the effort. You know.
Yeah. I did one that I was really proud of. It was fun. There was like a little bit of controversy around it.
I know this bit, yeah.
Yeah, of the curb. Yeah, so there was this really fun curb. One of the funnest spots I've ever skated in California.
It's like 150 feet or something.
Yeah, I think I measured it. It was like 125 feet. And I was like, that would be so cool to dark slide. Probably the longest dark slide ever. Who knows? And then I went and did it. And then the day I did it, I was really hyped. I posted on Instagram, hell yeah, cool dark slide. Then Andy Anderson hits me up straight away. Oh shit, I did this. I was saving it for my video part. Oh my god, blah, blah, blah.
Way, though.
Yeah, because we're friends, and he's come to Braille, and that was another fun relationship that came out of Braille. Is just
he seems like the nicest dude,
Andy.
Man.
Yeah, he genuinely is like the nicest dude. And then he's like, oh shit, I already done this. And then I'm like, oh fuck, now I've posted it. And he's like, well, maybe now I'll post mine, and I won't put in my video part. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Like, you did it first. Like, I'm not trying to take that away from you. Tell everyone you did it first. Like, hell yeah. And then I thought it was cool that we both had the same idea to do it. And we kind of both did it in different ways too, which was kind of fun to see. But yeah, Andy's the absolute man. But I was proud of that dark slide because I feel like that's the longest one ever. There's a couple of other rail. There's like this long kink rail that I would love to dark slide. And it's fun to just keep them going.
It's a funny unwritten rule with when you get to that upper echelon of skateboarding, that if someone's done the trick, you can do it, but you can't really be that stoked on it.
Yeah, so I feel like, especially, if you're it's kind of like if you're in the same league, sort of. Because if, let's say, like a pro does a trick and then a little kid goes and does a worse version of the trick, who cares? Doesn't matter, like what we said before. But then if you kind of do the same trick, it's kind of like in bad taste a little bit.
On the same spot.
Yeah, same trick on same spot is like a little bit in bad taste. It's like, I guess, the graffiti equivalent of like going over someone else's thing, kind of a little bit.
Yeah. Unless you can do it with, like, to use a graffiti mentality, you've got to burn what you go over. So if you do the same trick and you
do
kick
it
flip
worse,
out.
Yeah. Well, no, I think that's fine. That's like, if you were to do the same trick and then do like the slightly harder variation, I think that's like fair game. But it still maybe could be perceived as like being a bit of a dick or whatever.
What about like goofy or natural or frontside backside.
Yeah, I would say frontside backside makes it different. So if someone 50s a big rail, then the other person 50s a backside, I think different trick. But still maybe a little bit. But there was actually a funny one in Melbourne where like someone did a creative trick at the creative spot, and then the other guy sees that, does it, they post it, and the second person gets like the notoriety for it, and then the first person's like, yo, what the fuck?
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know about this.
I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like funny. I think they apologize. I might not blast who it was, but I think they apologized to each other or whatever.
Okay. Can you tell us the spot?
Yeah, it was that 20. There's like a mellow 20 stair in Melbourne, and they like firecracked down it.
Yeah. At the MCG?
No, it's like it's kind of like near Flinders Street. But I think I'm pretty sure if I'm thinking of the right one, one guy firecracked it, and then the other guy's like, "Oh, that's kind of sick." Went and did it. He got all the skate world appreciation for it, and then the other guy's like, "What the fuck?"
But it does put us into a weird sort of time because now Instagram has videos, but like with the Andy Anderson thing,
Yeah.
he's saving that for a full length part. You don't know that,
Yeah.
right? And also he's not going to tell everybody, hey, I'm saving this, because then now other puts it on the radar for other people.
Totally.
So it's this weird, like, you kind of have to know you're not doing it out of disrespect. You're just doing it.
Yeah.
Great minds think alike. I don't know.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Like, yeah, how am I supposed to know that I shouldn't do that or whatever?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of almost good that I didn't know he did it because I like wanted to do it just for fun anyway. So then if I knew he did it, then I would have been like, oh, now I can't do it, kind of, you know?
Okay.
So I don't know. I guess it was kind of good that it was just pure in the dark. Whoops, happenstance, great mind single, like what you said.
And you're lucky that he's like a nice dude, because if the wrong person's like, oh, man, that guy tried to jack my trick at that spot and blah, blah, blah. I'm sure that happens.
That kind of shit definitely does happen.
Yeah.
But I think it's just fun. Like I said, take it light. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's just flipping a board around.
Exactly. You know what would be cool? You guys both go there and see who could land it first.
Yeah,
That's a
I should
video
actually do
idea.
something like that.
Yeah.
That would actually be cool.
But man, he is like, obviously there's skateboarding and then there's Andy Anderson skateboarding, which is just in a different sort of, he operates again in a different sphere where he's thinking outside the box. He's changing the shape of skateboards, which a lot of pros haven't really done. They just stick with the way that it goes. You know, obviously wheelbase, concave, people fuck around with it a bit. He's just going, man, I'm going to change the whole thing to exactly how I want.
Yeah, and I think what's cool about him is similar to Braille is he'll have the reach outside of skating. Like if I ever talk to someone and they go, oh yeah, I'm a skateboarder, I'll go, oh yeah, I like that one guy. He has the helmet and he spins around. Andy Anderson. And they're like, yeah, I think so. You know, that like to me, that's so cool. Like, hell yeah, he's doing his own thing. He's paving his own lane. And then he like people identify with him and then like relate to him. I think that's so good.
Yeah, for sure, man. And then even before him, you know, you've got Richie Jackson who was doing his own thing as well.
Yeah.
And like he was doing shit like people weren't even thinking about using as obstacles.
Yeah, they never considered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. Like me, Richie, Andy, like I've put us in a similar like category or whatever where we're kind of like trying to think of just like, you know, not to ollie the 10 stair. We're trying to think of just fun, cool stuff
yeah.
that can like showcase our skill at the same time, you know.
And he was a bit ahead of his time because like his stuff was viral before people knew what that was.
Yeah, exactly. And he's kind of the same, reached outside of skating. They just go, oh yeah, this viral Facebook video of this guy doing crazy stuff.
Running over water or whatever. Like, yeah. He's using like, you know, plastic signs to jump off and jump back on and roll over a table and stuff that people would never have thought to do.
Totally, yeah.
Pushing in different directions. Yeah, man. I get friends of mine who aren't in skateboarding that send me like Richie or Andy clips and stuff, and they're like, man, have you seen this guy? Same thing. You know that they've transcended skateboarding.
Yeah, it's so good. I love seeing stuff like that.
Yeah. Have you tried one of Andy's pro model boards?
Yeah, I would skate him sometimes. Like I think it's really cool that his shape is so thoughtful, but then I'm like, all right, I'm not really trying to do some of this freestyle stuff, so like I will just take a normal board.
Yeah.
But I really like that, you know, because pro model board, usually it's just like, all right, everyone's board is made in the same wood shop, let's put a different graphic on, this is their signature board. It's like, it's sick that his really is like the essence of a signature board. I made this curve on the nose like this, and the tail is this, and then when I freestyle, yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's so sick. And it's also when we say there's a lot of rules in skateboarding, a lot of it is you don't wear a helmet. And he's like, no, I'll break that rule.
Yeah, but see, it's sad because Andy's so good, so talented, and then he had so much backlash for the helmet.
Really?
I think he is the very first person ever to be in Thrasher wearing a helmet, not skating vert or mega ramp or whatever. I think he's the official first person to have a street rail wearing a helmet.
But that was almost not an
And that was
unofficial rule.
after years and years and years of backlash or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's like skaters, they kind of like say skating is express yourself, do this, blah blah blah. It's like, oh, you want to wear a helmet? Get the fuck out.
Yeah,
It's like, what happened to express myself?
Yeah, totally. But he does it in a cool way because he's got his little pig visor thing. Like, it's not just
Yeah.
a normal helmet, but it takes somebody that good
Yeah,
to be like,
to break it.
and to be like, well, you can hate on me, but I'll just prove it with my skating.
Yeah, I mean, Andy probably like there's probably parents and shit that like, thank you, Andy, for normalizing wearing a helmet.
Helmet, especially when it's a dangerous thing, man. You can fall back on and hit your
Yeah.
head on the concrete, and if you're a pro skater, you know what you're doing. You know how to fall. You know how to
Yeah.
take a bail. But if you're a young kid and you're trying to do a 5-stair for the first time, hitting your head's a legitimate possibility.
Yeah, for real. Especially if you bomb a hill as well. That's usually how people get serious injuries. Bomb a hill, get hit by a car, hit their head. And it's
Some
like,
of those San Francisco hills are crazy.
yeah, for real.
Have you bombed them?
Sometimes I try to be safe though as well.
Yeah.
People drive kind of crazy too. It's like it's a lot of risk. Like I'd rather take the risk of me doing a trick where I can control the variables. Road is like you never know what's gonna happen. I've seen viral videos of people really crashing into cars and smoking themselves so bad.
Yeah. When you're doing the braille stuff, if someone did really take a stack, would they be like, this is good content, or would they be concerned about someone hurting themselves?
It's interesting because it was kind of a mix of maybe like both, and it's like, well, how serious is it? Okay, it's kind of good content. Like, no, obviously we don't want that to happen, and we try to be as safe as possible. But then at the same time, it's like, man, they are really taking a lot of risk. I would say to the other guys, occasionally, like little kids would do dangerous stuff, and I'd be like, I'm not cool with this. Though I remember one little kid wanted to drop in the variant. I'm like, hell no, I don't want to be associated with this at all. Like,
He
there's
wasn't
no
part
way.
of the crew. He was just there.
No, it was like a guest or whatever. And I'm like, there's no way I'm sitting there, let this little kid just doom drop in. Like, hell no. But I would try to be safe. Like, especially when we built the Veramp, a lot of people would be like, I want to drop it in. That's my goal. And every time I would really try to make sure that I really thought they were ready, at least ready enough that they'll slam in like a safe way, not just die.
Yeah, just straight to the flat. Well, the thing is with dropping in from vert is like you got to start at a smaller quarter and work your way up.
Yeah, we had all those, so I would take them on the journey. All right, we're going to the 3 foot, the 4 foot, the 5 foot, the 6 foot. Now show me the 8 foot, all right, then maybe you're ready.
Yeah. You've got to, it's like anything though. You've got to, even just to learn to drop in, you just got to go to a bank and just figure out how those mechanics
Or
work.
even on flat first. Flat, then the bank, then the mellowest quad you could ever find.
Yeah, but I guess that happens with especially now the internet. Kids just see tricks and they want to level jump. Like before you're doing any of that, you got to learn how to roll. You got to learn how to acid drop. Then you got to learn how to ollie. You can't just go start doing crazy shit.
What's funny in the like kind of creator world is that like people think of skateboarding and then they say, oh yeah, skateboarding, kickflip. I'll try to kickflip today. I will learn kickflip today. And then like they don't realize how hard it is. It's so common that you'll see like YouTubers or live streamers or whatever that are like, oh yeah, I'm going to learn to kickflip. And then they don't realize that, I think at the very least takes like a month from zero to like skating every single day. Maybe you can do it in a month. But like any less than that, no one's ever going to kickflip in one day, like no matter what.
No, but it does, now that you've got the YouTube stuff, it's a lot easier to learn, like,
Yeah.
Because you used to have to find someone who would teach you or just study videos and watch them.
And even how are you getting the video? Like you got to randomly buy a DVD or something and hope they do a kickflip in it.
It's all changed, man.
Yeah.
So then when you're there, Braille, you're there for a few good years.
Yeah.
And then do you start to see the cracks appear?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, honestly, probably red flags like instantly.
Instantly?
But like, I don't know. It's like you can tolerate some red flags, but then it gets progressively more and more. But yeah, the main catalyst was Aaron Carr went off to do his Scientology stuff, and then he kind of abandoned the business, so to speak. And
Did he tell you guys what he was doing? Did he say, hey,
Yeah.
I'm going to go...
He goes, hey, everyone, have a meeting. In 1 week from now, I'm going to go to business school for 5 months. And then we're like, what? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to be gone, blah, blah, blah. And then at the start, he's like, oh, we're going to do this plan. You guys are all going to go on this big trip. It's going to be cool. Like, we're going to film videos now and then release them slowly. So I'll still be on the channel, blah, blah. They had all this big plan. I'm like, all right, sounds okay.
Because he was the boss. Like without him, like obviously he's the owner,
Yeah.
but from the kids' perspective, he's the man. Like the other
Yeah.
guys were cool, but he was.
Yeah, the kind of like chain of command or whatever was like Aaron's the boss, then Gabe was kind of like the day-to-day guy doing everything, and then we're like the skaters or whatever. So that was kind of like so like if anything ever went wrong, we're like, Gabe, you're in, like it's on you, you're in charge.
2IC, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, then he goes going away for 5 months, and we're like, a bit weird, but okay. Then when he's gone, he's just like ghosted. He's like, none of this like, oh, hey, let's do a Zoom call and you guys been doing good. Oh, here's some feedback of what's been going. He's just vanished. And then he doesn't come back after 5 months, come back after like 7 or 8 months. And then he comes back for like a week and he's like, oh yeah, all right, let's quickly do all this stuff. All right, now I got to go again in like 2 more weeks. Then he goes again.
Was there a plan of attack when he was gone? Like, was there like you had all this stuff scheduled out, or were you
Yeah,
guys
at the start, and then it went too long, and then the plan started to fizzle out.
And then you left your own devices.
Yeah, and like the second in command guy, Gabe Cruiser, he was like, he doesn't know what to do either, because it's like we're all just like, well, fuck it, how long is this gonna go for? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, we don't own Braille, we're just like,
But you know the formula.
yeah, well, like we were just doing what we could, but at the same time, we're like, what is this fool doing? Like, come back.
And the comments would have been like, "Where's Aaron? Where's Aaron? Where's
yeah,
Aaron?"
for so long.
Yeah.
But anyway, then he comes back for like 2 weeks or whatever, goes away again, and he did that. He maybe came back like 2 or 3 more times, maybe like total 3 times, and then it was like 2 years that he was gone. And then like in that whole time of him being gone, everyone was kind of getting like progressively more and more like frustrated and like.
But you're still getting
sick
paid,
of it.
and everyone's getting looked after.
Yeah, but at the same time, too, like we said, the creator wave, Braille was going down as well, just in general, and maybe like we could, like you couldn't say we couldn't prevent it, but just in general, like it needed some tender love and care to like make sure it doesn't keep going down. He's just gone MIA. It's just still going down and down and down, and we're just like, what do you want us to do about it? We're just here.
Do you reckon he's watching the numbers from afar, or he's
Yeah,
just
probably. But then at the same time, he's so busy doing his Scientology stuff like all day, every day. Then like, what can he really do? He doesn't have enough time to Zoom call us. Then like, good luck.
So if you tried to call him, it was just
Yeah, never. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Because
that
he's bit like people can look into Scientology and their own thing. Don't join for the record, obviously. But it's like shit's crazy, and he's like at the higher level. He's doing all this crazy stuff, paying all this money to go do these crazy courses or whatever.
Had he always been involved? He wasn't born into it. He got into it later in life.
Yeah. So his story, you can look up his story arc as well, which is pretty interesting. But he moved to San Francisco, tried to make it as a skater. He liked doing manuals, so that's why he went to San Francisco to skate Pier 7 to do manuals. And he had a bunch of legitimate sponsors. I think it was like Real and Spitfire and like a few of them, because he was good. He was pretty good in his prime. That's something that people don't know about him. If you watch his very old clips, he's actually pretty good. Like he'll do like kickflip nose grind or like kickflip 5-0, kickflip out, kickflip 5-0, tray flip out, stuff like that. But anyway, then he got kicked off all his sponsors. Then his kind of skate dream was a little bit dead at that point. And then that's when he made the YouTube channel out of like desperation, be like, I'm throwing away all my good footage. I'm a nobody now. I got kicked off all my things. Here's the footage that I was filming anyway, kind of like salty. And then that like was the catalyst for Braille beginning, was him posting that video part kind of footage. But anyway, then he's kind of like low, down and out, or whatever. And then he like gets into Scientology while he's like not making any money, kind of vulnerable. Like,
So he attributes the success of
Yeah.
Braille to Scientology just because
Yeah.
that potentially was the
it was,
timeline
the timeline, yeah, was very much like
and
that.
YouTube timing.
Yeah, exactly. And then he
Wow.
joined. I done some, since all this breakup stuff, I actually did some interviews with like sort of like anti-Scientology people that grew up in the church for 30 years, then they left, and they gave me a lot more interesting perspective. And I actually now, when it first all happened, I was a bit mad, like, this guy wronged me, like whatever. But now I'm more like, this guy is a victim. Like, when he was in this down and out time in San Francisco, he went on this, he kind of had a lottery ticket of right place, right time, made good decisions with Braille, made insane money. And then now he's like back down and out, like lower than he was when he joined, like it's bad now.
So he's lost everything.
Like, I don't know that for a fact or whatever, but talking to the anti-Scientology people, they would think that it is unlikely it is
They
much
just
money.
rinse them for every cent they've got, really, don't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real. And like now he really did lose his business. If you go on the Braille thing, I'm not telling you to send hate to him or whatever. I'm just telling you my life experience. If you go to the page, every comment's negative. They go, fuck you, fuck you. In the thing, Aaron will be like, hey guys, what board do you ride? 775, 825? Then every single comment is just like, we hate you, we hate you, we hate you. No one says 825. They all just say, and it's like, he really did like fully lose his audience.
Because it was such a community.
Yeah.
And you can't wrong the community.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So then you guys you got 2 years of sort of just making it up as you go. You see the numbers decline. You see other people in the crew starting to talk. Maybe this is the beginning of the end. Fuck, man, where are we going to go?
Yeah, pretty much. And then the second in command guy ends up quitting because he's frustrated. He took on so much of this workload. He's feeling super unappreciated.
Left him in a shit spot.
Yeah, and like he's like 25. He's like, oh, maybe I need to get a real job, blah, blah, blah. He's like feeling super underappreciated. Like, what is this giant YouTube channel making the guy doing all the work feel unappreciated? Like, that's terrible, you know? And then he ends up quitting, and then making less and less money. Then Aaron, there's a bit of a thing where he like basically demolished the skate park and like didn't tell us, or didn't tell me at least. And then, you know, it really blew up from there basically.
Is there any company-wide emails like, hey guys, things aren't going
all
well?
I wanted was text, hey Ricky, demolishing skate park RN. That's all I wanted, but nothing. And then I went there and I was like, yeah, would have loved you to tell me. I was like a little bit critical, but I wasn't even saying fuck you, Aaron Carr. I was just a bit critical. Hey, this is my experience. It was not so good, blah blah blah. And then,
are you off the payroll by this stage though?
When he demolished the park, no, I'm still working for them. But then what happened is something along the way of me being critical of them demolishing the skate park, the Scientology kicked in, and I like got deemed sort of like enemy of Scientology, and then in the Scientology practice they call it like disconnection. And then when that happens,
repressive person, do they say?
Suppressive.
Suppressive,
SP,
yes.
SP is what it's called. And then when that happened, then they ghosted me. So I never got fired. Aaron Kyron never said to me, "Hey Ricky, fuck you, you wronged me, you're fired." He never said that. He just cut, blocked, like Braille Instagram blocks me, Braille YouTube blocks me. Aaron Carr blocks me hidden, and I try to call him, doesn't answer. Try to message him, doesn't answer. That's the end. Like, we'll never talk again. And that's like the terrible ending of like, he got me the visa. We were doing all this great stuff. We were building this community. Then just ghosted. At least tell me like, fuck you. Like, not just.
At least I'd have a bit of closure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing you're not the only one. There would have been a crew of you that were all in the same boat.
Yeah, it was mainly me and Nigel, the other guy that got like the ghost treatment, and then the other guys, he would talk to them a little bit. But then it was really weird too that like Scientology kind of put him in this like rock and hard place where he's like forced to follow the Scientology rule, but maybe he doesn't want to, or maybe not. Like maybe he didn't want to block me, but he felt like obligated to from his role in Scientology or whatever. But yeah, it was a weird thing. Like, it's sad that it had such a bad end. And then people in the comment, I think Ricky is banned in the comments now in Braille. So if you say, my favorite person was Ricky, your comment will get not be shown. Wow. Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
Like, after all these good videos. And, like, they're still kind of making money off the videos that I made as well. And you can't even comment Ricky, like, damn.
Yeah, that's like a real contradiction, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is, you know. And if I'm honest, like when I moved there, like I said, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to see how it goes. I did think that this could possibly happen. You know what I mean?
Well, I think anything that grows at that rate of
and like I went in knowing he's Scientologist as well. I knew Scientologists do kind of weird stuff like this. So like I don't know. I would hope that it wouldn't happen, but it's not like it was like, whoa, the biggest like surprise ever. It's like, yeah, sometimes shit goes like this.
So you guys literally were like, okay, Gabe had quit, right?
Yeah.
Who was the 2IC. So it's just the skaters left to their own devices.
Yeah. And actually before Gabe quit, some of the other skaters were kind of quitting too. They're like, for how much I'm getting paid, I can be bothered doing this work. It's not even worth it anymore. And they were getting like less hours as well because Braille was making like less. Then they're like, oh, you can work like 2 days a week for this many hours for them. And they're like, what's the point of doing this for so little?
So they're jumping off a sinking ship.
Yeah.
So you guys hang around. You're thinking, all right, it's probably going to end soon, but you're not expecting you're thinking we're going to get a chat. You're not expecting to go to the skate park and it's demolished.
Yeah, I was kind of, because it was, like you said, sinking ship. I was thinking it was going to go a bit slow, but then it really exploded so fast. I never would have thought it would be so fast. Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. It kind of just, really went hard and fast, especially from the ghosting. Like, I made a video saying, like, this is what's happened. I wasn't even being that. I was being overly, they say that I have, like, Stockholm syndrome or whatever. I was being, like, overly objective and overly respectful and overly nice. And then in the ghosting. But then after this community kind of learned that that's how he treated us, the hard workers or whatever, then they're like, what the hell? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, and the community is 5 million people. You
Yeah.
know? That's a lot of people.
Totally.
So, and what I find so baffling about the whole thing is, without those 5 million people, that brand, that business is nothing.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to give the employees the time of day, you have to at least explain it to the core community.
Yeah, and he kind of tried to, but it's like I said, because he's in the Scientology rock and hard place, he like can't admit he was wrong, can't admit some of the things, so it's like all fake and lies kind of thing. So it's like he really, I do have a lot of empathy for him because I feel like he's really digging a bad hole, and like I actually think he may be able to quit Scientology soon because right now he's in like getting so close to the rock bottom of his life. It's so sad to say, but you know, he literally lost all his money, lost his business, lost his friends, losing everything because of this stuff. It's like maybe he will hit the bottom and like, you know, rebuild his life. Like I hope so. I don't know.
Yeah. So then after that demolishing, that's obviously very physical, but it's also metaphorical that the business is done.
Yeah.
So from that day on, you're like, we know it's finished.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And then you're just like, okay, I have this personal following. It was gonna happen sooner or later, but I'm gonna just do my own thing.
Yeah, so while Braille was going on, we were talking about balancing the core street skating and the channel. I was making my own YouTube videos as well, doing my own, like I said, the short form stuff too. So I was already doing my own channel and stuff like that as well. So it's kind of like natural transition. And while it was kind of gradually sinking as well, I'm like, oh yeah, let's start focusing more energy into my channel rather than when I first moved, I'm like, I'm giving everything to prove myself. Then it was more like, all right, I'm trying to make my own channel be successful.
Yeah, and look, when everything's said and done, they gave you an opportunity to build your audience pretty
Totally,
remarkably.
yeah. Amazing opportunity. And like, just to get me the visa, like what skate company is getting Guy visa to move to America? Like that's a very big commitment. And like, I'm so grateful for it. And I met my fiance through Braille technically too. So like, hell yeah.
So now you can stay there without them helping you with the visa?
Yeah. So they got me the initial visa. Then I renewed it one time. If this all happened on the very first visa, I might have been like, I gotta go now. But when I renewed it, it was a little bit different. That it would have been fine if this happened. But then now I'm gonna marry my fiance in 3 months, whatever. Then problem solved as well.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's that easy now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a friend who married an American girl, and for him to go there was almost impossible. For her to come here was almost impossible. It's hard, man.
Yeah, visas is absolute nightmare. Like, I think Braille were frustrated with it too. They were like, yeah, sounds good. Get this guy the visa. And then they were like, oh shit, I regret this instantly. This is so hard.
Yeah. I had a basketballer on the other day, and he came here from the US, from South Carolina.
Sick.
And then he had to keep going. Every 3 months, he had to leave the country, come back. And then he couldn't, and you couldn't get paid. Couldn't get the whole thing, man.
Yeah,
it's
so he
hard.
would have been on like a tourist thing where you're like, you're not allowed to work or whatever.
Then
It's like,
you need to work if you're going to play professional basketball. Then you're going to get the right visa, similar to what you're going through, but the other way around.
skating's interesting too because you know the Australians will go on the tourist visa, go in a competition, and then win like $10,000. It's like, well, are they working or are they not? Like, where do we draw the lines and stuff?
And where are they going to pay tax at? Are they paying tax in Australia? Are you going to pay a lot of tax in America?
Yeah, it's messy.
Gets confusing. So then when the Braille stuff's finally said and done, I guess it's kind of like a relief a little bit though, because you knew it was sinking. You feel a bit hard done by, but you're like, okay, well, now I'm doing the Ricky story.
Exactly, yeah. And like when it started to go a little bit bad, when I was feeling like, oh yeah, like I'll still be a part of this and I still like it, but I'm trying to focus on my stuff more. I like moved in with my girlfriend. I moved to Los Angeles when Braille was San Francisco area. So it was like 5 hours away too. Mm-hmm. So what I would be doing is like drive there, then film for like 3 days, then drive back. And then by the end, I was only doing that every 2 weeks. So I wasn't even really filming that much. I was already kind of like spiritually like checked out or whatever. Mm-hmm. So then, like you said, yeah, when it all blew up, then it's like, wow, that's crazy. But like now it's kind of, at least kind of like a clean break to do my stuff.
Yeah. And I'd imagine your DMs would have been ridiculously full of what's going on? I can't believe this.
The people were pretty supportive. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened to you. I'm sorry. And a lot of people too, oh, I know about Scientology. Like, I can give you more information, blah, blah, blah.
It pulled you, whether you like it or not, it pulled you right into the Scientology world, even if it is from the anti-Scientology space.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a little bit sad is like maybe if you Google, like, you know how it has the Google auto fill out? if you write like Ricky Glaser, it probably will say like Ricky Glaser, Scientology. Is he a Scientologist or whatever?
Yeah.
So now I'm like forever associated with that. But it's like, whatever. I signed up for that. So like, who cares? But it is a little bit funny that it's just like, because I feel like Australian mentality is very much like, maybe you're religious, maybe not. Like I was raised not religious, but I was like, do whatever you want. I'm respectful of you. Just don't like try to force me to do anything or
Don't
say
get
anything.
preachy, I say.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
your thing. Don't preach it.
Because that's what I say about Braille too. I think if he was keeping them separate, that's fine. If he ever said to me, "Hey Ricky, at the end of the video, just tell people to join Scientology," I say, "I quit right now. Like no 2 weeks. I'm done."
Yeah.
You know.
So then, does the channel still exist, but it's obviously taken a big hit?
Yeah, so Aaron now is trying to figure out how to proceed or whatever, and the comments are so brutal, and like the viewership is basically dust. The only people that are viewing is like to come to say negative comments, pretty much. But I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens because like I feel like it won't be worth his time much, and then it's so sad to just see such a big great thing just really. I mean, it's so sad to see what it is now, but it'd be sad to see it just be completely dead as well.
Is it? And they still putting out boards and that sort of thing?
They're like, surely no one's buying the merch and stuff now, but I think they still have it.
Yeah, man. It's like,
But hey, I don't know if you can get the board. If they sell them at a loss and you can get them, do what's right for you.
yeah. But it obviously has left a big gap in that space, and I'm guessing the people that have come out on top are the guys like you who built their name or helped build their name from that, who now have a big following. You're kind of like the guys that came out on top almost.
Yeah, kind of.
In a roundabout way.
Yeah, sort of. Like they definitely benefit me, and I'm always super grateful for that. And I like don't try to take that away. What I say to Braille fan too, because this sucks for a fan. They love this thing and it implodes, and now it's this messy situation. You don't want to do that to the fan. Like that's awful. I say like let's not forget the good times too. Like the structure of this podcast is we were kind of glazing for a bit, and then now we're talking about the reality. It's like don't forget about the good. They did a lot of good stuff. No one's perfect. It's like you had a relationship with a girl. Once you break up, it's very hard to be like, oh yeah, we had some nice times.
That's true. Yeah. Think about the positives. And I'm sure there's like, for those Braille fans out there, there's plenty of videos they could go back and watch the good times and pretend it didn't go to
it's
shit.
funny. They comment to me, oh, I want to watch this video, but I don't want to like give them the view.
But it's a couple of cents.
But I say, who cares? Like, I'm glad. Like, I don't really want them to delete the videos that I'm in. I think it's fine. Like, leave it, and it shows the history, or whatever.
Yeah. Was it a hard adjustment to go from being on salary to then doing your own thing?
Not really, to be honest. Like, honestly, like Braille, it gave me all these benefits of like be able to move to the US, meet all these people, all this opportunity, all this attention on me. But they were never really paying me like that much. It's like at the start, it was kind of like my safety net of like, all right, I'm moving to the US, changing my life and stuff. They're giving me the initial money that I won't, be homeless or whatever. But then it kind of shifted from like, oh, I'm actually making, kind of more on my stuff than Braille. And it kind of slowly like went like that as I was kind of like checking out or whatever too.
Yeah. And that's the thing about the YouTuber, being a YouTuber. Once you hit a certain sort of threshold and you've got enough videos out there, the small increments roll in, it all adds up.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And you're doing live YouTube stuff as well now?
Yeah, so now I guess my latest endeavor has been like live streaming. I've been doing live streaming on Twitch. But what I try to do is kind of like in those early Instagram days, try to like follow a new thread or something. So I've been enjoying the live streaming, and I'll do like kind of like a live stream challenge will then become a good YouTube video. And like what I mean by that is like, recently I did this thing where it was a challenge and I go, I'm going to do 1,000 different skateboarding tricks on live stream. It takes as long as it takes. Let's see what happens. And I did it over like 8 days because different, not doing 1,000 kickflips. I'm doing 1,000 different tricks, which is a lot of...
Man, I want to see that list of tricks.
Yeah. You can watch. There's like a 30-minute YouTube video you can watch. But I did it over 8 days. It was really fun. We hang out with the live stream and like, that there's that kind of avenue. Then I make the really epic journey into like a super condensed, highly edited YouTube video. It's like
more consumable for the YouTube audience.
But I would have never been able to take 9 days to 8 days to do that. To do that if it was just for the YouTube video. But because I can do the live, it can kind of like facilitate that.
Yeah, you're having 2 bites of the cherry sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I like the avenue that it can open up. And you can kind of build like a deeper connection with people too when it's like the podcast is kind of similar to live. I feel like it's like live, the deepness of connection is like live first, then podcast, then like long form 10, 20-minute YouTube videos, then like short form. And it's like there's like more layers and more depth, because I'm sure like your audience, they know a lot about you, and like when they're watching stuff, they go, oh, it's going to be interesting to what he says because I know his history is this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's cool to have like a deeper connection.
For sure. For an older person like me in my 40s that's never used Twitch,
Yeah.
how does it fucking work, man?
Twitch. So have you ever done like a YouTube live?
Yeah.
It's basically the same as that, except YouTube platform is mainly for long form videos, right? They've added live, they've added shorts, but it's predominantly for watching like whatever, 10, 15 minute videos. Whereas Twitch is just only for live streaming.
And they use it via the app or via their
Yeah, on the computer or app or whatever.
Right.
But it's just like mainly only for live streaming. And I feel like live stream is kind of in an interesting time where it's sort of like on the increase, even with like AI and all this shit. People are craving kind of like authenticity. So then live stream is kind of like the ultimate, like, this is me, no editing.
Yeah. No, I definitely feel like live is the way to go. And I try to do Instagram lives and stuff here and there.
Yeah.
Just because they push that so much. When you get someone's gone live on Instagram, it's like, here it is.
Yeah.
Fucking consume it.
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely the way to go. My audience is a little bit older. I don't know whether they're down with Twitch, but as Twitch keeps going,
Yeah.
that audience will become older, will become, more, it just becomes a regular thing that they consume.
Yeah, totally. And like I said, I try to sort of do everything as well. Like I'm still doing short form, long form, and live streams as well, and just try to like make it all work together.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got to do it all, man.
Yeah.
TikTok too.
Yeah.
Do you put the same stuff on TikTok as Instagram?
Yeah, I never used to, but then these days I kind of do. I kind of think of them as like long form video and short form video is now Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook Reels, whatever else, Pinterest.
Yeah, Pinterest too. That's one I never got into, man.
Nah, that one sucks.
Nah, yeah.
We hate Pinterest.
Man, and now like being a content creator is what pretty much every young kid strives to be.
Yeah, but even that seems kind of dystopian. Hey, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a fireman. I want to be a police officer. I want to be whatever. I want to be a content creator. Like, damn, I don't know. I guess it's kind of like wanting to be a singer or a movie star, I guess.
It's the rock
The
star
modern
or the
version.
rapper of the, yeah.
Yeah, but it is interesting. It is a very interesting time. I'm blessed that I didn't go to high school when people are like, oh, you got these many followers, you posted this, oh, this, that. I feel like it would be so weird. I guess you have kids that are about to go through that.
Yeah, man, my son's 5 about to turn 6.
Yeah.
And he plays his Nintendo Switch, and when he does watch his iPad, he watches people play it. And he's like, Dad, I want to start.
Yeah, he probably watches Twitch.
Well,
I don't know.
not Twitch yet.
But PewDiePie
he's
or whatever type
of that
stuff.
age. But he wants to start a YouTube channel where he plays Mario. And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
what he... And then he it's funny, man. Like, he'll hear me talk to my friends or my partner or whatever about the podcast. He's like, Dad, do you ask people to like and subscribe? And I'm like, yeah, I
Damn,
do.
5 saying that?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then, the other day he said to me, he's like, Dad, when are you going to get your gold play button? I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen, man. Because you need 100,000 or something followers.
Yeah, 100,000 is silver, million is gold. You can get there. We got it.
Oh man, I've only got fucking 3,000-4,000. But you've got 500,000.
Yeah.
So you've got your gold play button,
Silver. Yeah.
and the gold is at 1 million.
Yeah. So maybe I'll get there.
Yeah, is it when you got that silver one where you're like, wow, I'm a real YouTube guy?
Yeah, kinda. It was interesting because I was a little bit early on shorts too. Like my biggest strength was always kind of like the short form, like I was saying, I was growing the Instagram, and TikTok. I was kind of early to TikTok too because I was a little bit more open to it than other people. Oh, TikTok's lame, dancing, whatever. I was like, no, you don't understand. It's like it's this different thing. But anyway, then I posted shorts on YouTube and some of them blew up and they have 30 million views or whatever. And I gained a lot of subscribers through the shorts. Then it was kind of later on that I was like, all right, I really want to push the long forms and do these cool long form videos, which is the more past few years what I've been doing and not really caring as much about the shorts.
Yeah. But as long as you're doing it, as long as you're making content.
Yeah, and it all works together. I don't know if you post shorts on your thing, but you could there's always more you could do, but you could edit some fun, best moments, put the things, then maybe they blow up on TikTok and it leads them back here,
That is it hard to stay motivated now that there's no regimented routine? Do you attack it? Did you take positives you've got from Braille and be like, okay, well, I've got to make X amount of videos, I've got to do this? Or do you just go, man, I'm just going to do my thing and
a little bit of both. I feel like I'm more of a seasoned creator by just going through the ringer with Braille or whatever, even when I first moved to Braille, I was not that good at talking to camera and stuff like that. And I really do feel like I learned a lot of skills. I learned a lot about the creator journey through Braille. Like what I said, what to do, what not to do as well.
It's a crash course in how to do it.
Yeah, so I'm grateful for all of that too. But yeah, it is weird when you're your own boss and you don't have a rigid structure and stuff. It's freeing that I could say I'm gonna do this thing for 8 days and like whatever. But at the same time as well, there's all this external pressure of like when you're trying to make money and make a living from being creative. It's like it is a hard balance. But it is also every kid dream job, so you can't complain too much. Like I'm definitely blessed.
Do you put that down on your tax form, content creator?
Yeah, well, my visa it's like athlete, so I usually will write athlete or athlete/content creator or like pro skater/content creator. But I feel like as I'm getting older, I'm more transitioning into influencer, content creator, less athlete, pro skater.
But that's it, man. That's it. And it's all about collaborating with people. And when you can do that with your friends, that's what a dream job. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And even just through content creators, like, we can meet basically through content creator and just have a nice conversation, meet each other. Like, I really like social media a lot. I feel like people love to talk shit on it and they magnifying glass on all the negatives, and not that the negatives don't exist, but they forget about all the positives. Like, you can reach out to someone you respect in the other side of the world. Hey, I like your stuff. And then you can become friends, or whatever. Like, that's really cool and powerful. And like, I think that's people kind of neglect that a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I think once you figure out how to use social media and not let it use you, then it's good. So like with some people, they get down because they see what everyone else, all their peers are doing, and they're like, oh, I'm not as good as that. Like post and then ghost, right? And then come back and use it a little bit. Don't just look at it and let that get you down,
Yeah, I guess you could think it's like a hammer or whatever. It's a hammer, it's a tool. You could build the house, or you could take the hammer and do some terrible things. It's like you gotta use it in the right way, kind of.
Yeah, and also don't be negative towards other people on there, because that's just gonna make you. It just brings yourself down. People that get on there and just spread hate and just tear other people down, you're like, man, that's not what it's intended for.
Yeah, it's social media. It's very interesting because I feel like it's so rooted in like psychology. It's almost like more like psychology or like psyche of people too. Especially YouTube when you're trying to like make clickable titles, clickable thumbnails. I don't know if you've seen this or like if you've ever experimented with this, but in general, like negativity, human nature love negativity. If you made a list of like 10 biggest graffiti artists who went to jail or whatever, instantly gets views. If you make a thing of like the 10 most friendly graffiti artists, no one cares.
Yeah.
It's like human nature's drawn to the like negativity drama thing. And like it makes sense because humans, like the negative is what you need to focus on because bad things will happen. The positive, it's good, but it's like focusing on it doesn't really achieve anything.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like a top 10 celebrities that fell off is going to get, or top 10 celebrities that came out of nowhere. I know which one's going to get most views, but that's the negativity coming through because people are like, I didn't make it, so I want to watch those people fail.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It is interesting. And like, I feel like on YouTube, you have to try to like maintain your like integrity or something. I feel like that's important. I feel like live streaming's been teaching me that a bit as well. Cause you really can't like, you can't hide or whatever. It's just like, yeah.
And the thing is with making any kind of content, and I see this with musicians all the time. Musicians want to make music, and now they have to do Instagram, and they have to put in the work if they want anyone to see their stuff.
Yeah.
But then you start to go, well, why am I doing this? Am I doing this because I want to be a social media person, or am I doing this because I want to be a musician? So I think it's hard. Like, we got to remember why we're doing the things we're doing in the first place, and not go just for the viral clickbaity stuff.
Totally. And I think that's true with skating too, is that like becoming good at social media will 100% benefit your like opportunities in skating, right? But at the same time, if you're spending your time becoming good at social media, that's time away from becoming good at skating. And it's like, well, what's this all about? Am I trying to be a good skater, or am I trying to be good at getting people to watch me? And then it's like this weird balance.
Yeah, people forget what the original goal was.
Yeah.
And they get too caught up in the social media stuff, and you're like, whatever you were trying to do, go back to that and then make the social media fit into that. Don't do it the other way around.
Yeah.
And that's what I think people start to do, man.
Yeah.
Do you think that where you're at now is just that's your path? You'll be a content creator, influencer, skateboarder for your days?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's scary to think about like the future because the social media landscape moves so fast. So it's like, I don't know. And like, I'm kind of trying to like get married, have kids, settle down a little bit too. So like, I'm kind of just open to whatever happens. Like, I hope I can continue to do it. I hope I can keep taking it to higher and higher levels and stuff. But if I do have to try to get a real job or whatever, like I'm sort of open to that as well.
It's been a wild ride so far though.
Yeah, totally.
Looking into like when I do a bit of a YouTube dive into stuff, people say oh, AI is going to take over and this is going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And then you look at it and they're like, jobs that were not jobs 10 years ago are jobs now, like being an online creator. So things will evolve and things will change and there'll be opportunities that'll come that we didn't even know were things. You know? We didn't even know was a career path.
Totally, yeah. And that's why I think it's kind of important to like have an open mind. And that doesn't mean just do anything anyone, like any idea comes to you, like follow it. But it's just like, don't be afraid to be like, you know what? I think this is cool. I'm going to follow this path. Like, don't let people like kind of talk you out of that or whatever.
Yeah. And embrace new platforms and just give them a go.
Yeah.
Like so many people, you know, now, like you said, weren't down with the Instagram thing. Now it's just normal.
Yeah. And even YouTube as a whole, a lot of people very anti-YouTube, like skate YouTube or whatever, talking to the camera, hey, I'm skating, I'm going to do this. Now it's like way more normalized. And like, it's interesting that the pros and whatever were so against it, and then now they're just like, all right, fine, you win, I will do it now. And it's like, where's the apology letter? Like,
yeah, but even like with Skateline MBD, right?
Yeah.
Like for a while, he wasn't having any of this viral stuff on there, but then all of a sudden, a lot of that stuff makes it on there.
Yeah, and even that's funny. It's like, you know, I like Skateline and Gary and everything, but like, how is that?
He does a great job, man.
Totally.
So
but
entertaining.
at the end of the day, how is that different from any other YouTuber ever? Like sitting about their niche, kind of talking about the news in front of a green screen. Literally just every YouTuber.
Yeah, but like that, I just, man, he nailed it, and that's so funny, and it's just the way that his personality, like he's a legend.
Yeah,
but
totally.
yeah, I look at stuff like that when it was like, okay, we're only going to show the core skate community, but after a while, I think he showed someone do a backflip on a scooter down El Toro. You're like, oh wow, we've gone
sick,
mainstream. Yeah, well, it's
Yeah, he's played some of my viral clips too. Like I remember even being filmed at Braille, and it was on there, and I was like, oh, interesting. That's kind of like almost endorsing Braille, sort of.
Yeah. What other clips have you had on there?
Like one, I had a exercise ball like duct taped to my back, and then I have the skateboard duct taped to my feet, and I'd be like bounce and then do a front flip. Yeah, that one was on. And Aaron Cairo filmed that, and he played Aaron Cairo's angle, which I thought was funny too.
Wow, man, there's like what a cool creative sort of environment though, where you could just come up with stupid shit like that and then make it happen.
Totally, and I really enjoyed that. That really like spoke to my creativity or whatever.
Yeah. And like, yeah, again, we don't want to harp on all the negatives. I think we should, you know, mention that was a positive thing in essence. It just ended badly, like you said.
Yeah.
Great way to put it, just like a ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, bad relationship, like bad breakup doesn't mean the relationship's bad and you should have never had the relationship, whatever. Everyone went on this spiritual journey and learning. Maybe they learned they shouldn't have done these things at the end or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, I still try to think that it was a good thing.
All the other crew members, you kind of all sort of still stay in contact and be like, because you've been through a lot together?
Yeah, so we kind of made like a revamped channel. It's called The Boys. And then we're kind of like staying together through that channel. It's been a little bit trying though, because like we live in different places now and stuff, and it's hard to get everyone together and stay organized. But like we are doing that sort of more like casually or whatever.
Yeah, that's cool though. Like it's almost like a little mini reunion sort of thing that you
can take and like the fans say, I want to see you guys interact together. Like I miss you guys being together.
Yeah. That is a big thing, isn't it? It's like, you know, when you're mentioning earlier, like the Jackass days or whatever, seeing those guys individually do stunts isn't interesting, but seeing them laugh and interact,
true.
You know,
that's like, a good parallel. I never thought about it. Because like if Johnny Knoxville, Bam, Ryan Dunn, or whoever all made separate channels and they're just doing their separate things, I would be less interested in that. That's a good point.
You want to see Bam slap Steve-O when Johnny Knoxville gets kicked in the dick. That's the funny part.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
The interaction and the camaraderie and the team and that's definitely something that you guys, I think, would benefit to, and it's great to see that you're still giving that a go.
Yeah.
You're in Melbourne now. You're heading back to the US soon.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about what you've been doing since you're here, just as we get close to wrapping things up, man?
Yeah, for sure. Mainly just visiting family and friends and that kind of stuff. Been skating a little bit, live streaming a little bit. I was just with Dylan Warren. He's like trying to build up his backyard and build all this crazy stuff in his backyard. Doing a good job at it. Yeah, he built like a seesaw thing, and we were like skating yesterday. So yeah, just continuing the content, and it's always fun. Like my audience is predominantly American, so it's nice to kind of like bring my hometown Australian essence to it. I actually went, like I was saying, I would go in the under 12 competitions. I went to that skate park and I was like recreating my original Sponsor Me tape from 2003.
Oh,
So I
wow.
did some tricks and I like filmed them the same. So I'll make a YouTube video like going to my recreating my old Sponsor Me tape, whatever.
Yeah, sick. And what are you up to this afternoon? Back into the city?
Yeah, back in the city, check out Paran skate park, just meet up with some other friends too.
Cool. All right, man. Well, hopefully we've covered a lot. I think you're going to have to go when I'm looking at the time there.
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate you coming in, man. And I'd love you to come back and talk to us again when you're down this way. Hopefully you're seeing Dill again and we can make it happen one more time, man, when you're back in Melbourne.
Yeah, totally. Sounds good. Thanks so much for having me on. And like, this is really cool. Like, keep it going. Like, this is great. I love to see it.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
You.